You just lost $3,000. Not on a repair, not on a breakdown. You lost it the second you drove off the lot. And you didn't even know it. But here is the question I want you to ask yourself right now. If I told you there was a way to make your truck run better, last longer, and avoid the dealership entirely, would you take it? Or are you going to keep handing your hard-earned money to the guys in the fancy glass towers who are already planning your next recommended service? See, there is a loophole, a quiet, unspoken workaround that the smartest mechanics in the country are using right now. They aren't asking for permission. They aren't waiting for a software update. They are bypassing the system. And the dealerships? They hate it. Because if you know about this, you stop being a cash cow. Let's talk about what happens when you buy a modern truck. You think you own it. You sign the papers. You have the keys. But here's the scary part. You don't actually own the software inside it. That's the trap. Every truck built in the last decade is running on a closed ecosystem. The manufacturer decides when it goes into limp mode. They decide when the check engine light turns on for a sensor that costs $12 but requires a $1,600 repair because it's integrated. You've felt it, haven't you? That moment when you're hauling a load or you're miles from nowhere and the truck decides it knows better than you do. And it gets worse. There's a design flaw sitting under the hood of almost every diesel and heavy-duty truck on the road today. It's called an EGR system, exhaust gas recirculation. Sounds harmless, right? It's not. This thing takes the soot and filth from your exhaust and shoves it right back into your engine. It's like trying to breathe through a straw while someone is blowing smoke in your face. The manufacturer did this to pass an emissions test in a lab. They didn't do it to help you keep your truck for 300,000 miles. So what happens? You start losing power. Your fuel economy drops. You start getting that check engine light that comes and goes like a ghost. You take it to the dealership. They run a diagnostic. They look at you with that straight face and say, "Sir, you need a new EGR cooler. It's going to be $4,200, and we have to order the part. And you pay it, because you think you have no choice." But the mechanics who are in the know, they aren't paying that. They're using what I call the delete loophole. Now, before anyone in the comments starts screaming about warranties and laws, let's just be real for a second. The loophole exists because the manufacturers created a monopoly on your truck's health. They want you dependent on them for every single glitch. The loophole is simple. It's about taking back control of the hardware you already paid for. Smart mechanics are using aftermarket tuning and emissions-compliant modifications that work around the factory programming. They aren't waiting for the dealer to unlock the computer. They aren't paying diagnostic fees for problems the manufacturer created on purpose. Think about the transmission. You ever feel that sloppy shift? That hesitation when you try to merge onto the highway? That's not a mechanical failure. That's software. Manufacturers tune transmissions for fuel economy numbers on a window sticker, not for the way you actually drive. The dealer won't fix that. They'll tell you it's operating as designed. But the guy down the road with the laptop and the tuner? He can fix it in 20 minutes. He can make your transmission shift crisp, firm, and reliable. He can wake up 50 horsepower that the dealer locked away behind a paywall you didn't even know existed. And this is where the money loss really hits. If you are driving a modern truck right now, and you are still going to the dealership for anything outside of a warranty recall, you are leaving thousands on the table. I'm not talking about oil changes. I'm talking about the big stuff. The repairs that happen at 80,000 miles, right after your warranty expires. It's almost like they planned it that way, right? Here's a fact that should make you angry. Many of these catastrophic failures you hear about, the blown head gaskets, the cracked pistons, the failed fuel systems, start with a sensor that lies. The computer thinks something is wrong, so it dumps fuel, or it cuts timing, or it overheats the engine. The part wasn't broken. The computer was just confused. But the dealer doesn't fix the computer. They replace the engine. This is why the delete loophole is spreading like wildfire in the truck community. It's not just about making cool smoke or loud exhaust. It's about survival. It's about removing the single points of failure that the factory installed to make you dependent on them. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what about my warranty? Look, I get it. If you have a brand new truck with a factory warranty, you have to play the game for a little while. I'm not telling you to void a warranty on a $90,000 truck. But what I am telling you is this. The moment that warranty expires, you have a choice. You can stay on the hamster wheel paying dealer labor rates for problems they designed into the truck, or you can find a mechanic who understands the loophole. And if you want to see a real-world example of how deep this rabbit hole goes, just look at the diesel trucks from 2011 to 2016. Those years are infamous. There's a reason you see so many of them on the used market for cheap. It's because the factory emission systems on those trucks had a life expectancy of about 70,000 miles. The owners faced a choice: pay $10,000 to replace the factory system, or use the loophole, fix the root cause, and drive the truck for another 200,000 miles without a single emissions-related breakdown. Which one do you think the smart money chose? If you're still watching this, it means you care about keeping your money in your pocket and your truck on the road. And that's exactly why I need you to do something for me right now. Hit that like button, not for me, but for yourself. It tells YouTube to show this video to other truck owners who are still getting ripped off at the service desk. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, because I'm not here to give you fluff. I'm here to show you the secrets they don't want you to know. Let's get back to the loophole. Here is the tension that most owners don't understand. When you buy a truck, you are buying a mechanical device wrapped in a layer of digital restrictions. The dealership is trained to service the restrictions, not the mechanical device. So you get these insane repair bills. A fuel injector fails. The dealer says it's a $5,000 job because they have to reprogram the ECU and replace all 8 injectors to be safe. But a smart mechanic knows that injector failed because the fuel system was starved of lubrication due to a faulty sensor reading that the dealer ignored during the last 3 oil changes. See the cycle? They fix the symptom. You pay the premium. The root cause stays hidden. The delete loophole isn't just about taking parts off. It's about recalibrating. It's about looking at your truck as a machine, not a subscription service. When you bypass the dealer, you find mechanics who still use grease under their fingernails. Mechanics who will tell you, hey, this part is known to fail. Let's upgrade it now before it leaves you stranded on a mountain pass. The dealer will never tell you that. They want you stranded. That's an emergency repair. That's a tow bill. That's a loaner vehicle. That's profit. And this applies to gas trucks too. Don't think you're safe if you're not driving a diesel. The newer gas engines with cylinder deactivation, with the 10-speed transmissions, with the direct injection, these are all ticking time bombs if you follow the dealer maintenance schedule. The dealer says, lifetime transmission fluid. There is no such thing. That's a trap. They say lifetime because they want the transmission to fail at 120,000 miles, so you either buy a new truck or pay them $8,000 for a replacement. A smart mechanic who uses the loophole mindset knows you drain that fluid at 50,000 miles. You put fresh stuff in, you bypass the sealed unit scare tactics, and your transmission lasts 300,000 miles. It's these little choices that separate the guys who are always complaining about repair bills from the guys who drive their trucks for 2 decades with no payment. I want you to think about the last time you walked into a dealership service center. Think about the waiting room, the free coffee, the flat screen TVs. Do you know who pays for that? You do. Every time they charge you $200 an hour for labor, you are paying for that marble floor. You are paying for that salesman's bonus. The mechanic using the loophole? He works in a shop with concrete floors and a toolbox he paid for himself. He charges you half the price, and he does the job right because his reputation depends on it, not because a regional manager is breathing down his neck. So, what is the takeaway here? What is the hidden issue that nobody wants to talk about? The hidden issue is that your truck was designed to fail in a very specific way, at a very specific time, to funnel you back into the ecosystem of the dealership. The reliability issues aren't accidents. They are the business model. But you have the power to break that model. You have the power to find a mechanic who understands the hardware, who understands the software, and who isn't afraid to use the loophole to keep your rig running right. Do not wait for the light to come on. Do not wait for the limp mode. Be proactive. If you are sitting on a truck right now that has a known issue, a shaky transmission, a clogged EGR, a sensor that keeps acting up, stop going to the dealer for diagnosis. They are just going to tell you what they want to sell you. Find a specialist. Do the research. Take control. Because the moment you stop trusting the manufacturer to take care of you is the moment you finally start saving money. The loophole is real. The smart mechanics are already using it. The only question left is, are you going to keep paying for the coffee and the marble floors, or are you finally going to take your truck back? If this opened your eyes, stick around. Click the next video on your screen right now. I'm about to show you the exact 5 used trucks that smart money buys, and the 3 that you should run from, no matter how cheap they are. I'll see you in the next one.